Hello, my viewers. Welcome to Hugar Social Academy. Today, let us learn a very interesting topic which is going to create or build up the energy among ourselves. We are going to learn and understand about in what way we Indians got the independence from the British. Let us learn these all topics from the chapter called The Freedom Struggle. The Freedom Struggle. One of the important chapter from the social science of class 10 standard. When we talk about the freedom struggle, it comes in our mind about how our forefathers, our freedom fighters, they fought for the independence of the nation. The journey of the independence was not so easy. It was the toughest to toughest. It's because we were fighting against the inhuman people who came here to rule on us, who treated us like as a slave. But it was our strong determination, strong nationalism, and strong leadership made us to fight against the British. We are going to understand regarding how there was a birth or the beginning of the Indian freedom struggle from the birth of the Indian National Congress. We will learn about how Gandhiji took an active role in the independence, Jallianwala Bagh incident, Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movements, farmer revolt, tribal revolt, labor's revolt, quit India movement, and moreover, eminent personalities like Subhash Chandra Bose, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, and lastly, we will end up the topic with the partition of India. These all things we are going to learn in the chapter called as a freedom struggle. Okay, it's a chapter number 18. Now, why the freedom struggle it began? We know very well that if we go back a little bit and understand regard on in the topic called as 1857, the first war of Indian independence, we will get to know that there were some circumstances which were prevailed, which made our sepoys to fight against the British. So the journey of this it began from the period of 1857. The journey of the independence it began from the period of 1857, which is called as a first war of Indian independence. First war of Indian independence. Right? The whole year, our sepoys fought against the British. There were many reasons were there. There were political reason was there, economic reason was there, military reason was been there, and usage of the uh, gun called as a Royal Enfield gun, right, which affected religiously sentiments made the sepoys to fight against whom against the British, and many of the soldiers they were being also dethroned from their jobs, and our industries like small scale cottage industries which were being they were completely ruined off. These all things made what it is that Indians fought against the home against the British. And in the year 1858, the queen with her proclaim tries to tries to win the hearts of the Indians by saying that the Indians are the British citizens. The Indians are the British citizens. But we very well know that the British never followed what they said. And in this part itself, we have seen that different laws were being introduced. Different laws, what they were being introduced, like Lord Lytton. Lord Lytton. Okay, who? Lord Lytton, who brought up domestic domestic paper control act. Domestic Paper Control Act. Lord Lytton he introduced. Okay, to exercise control of the people, to take the press under their control, because press was playing a very important role. Press is nothing but it's a newspapers which are been printed and it has been supplied up to the where up to the people. So press, it's a form of, it's a journalism which find out what are the different things are being what introduced been introduced. So questioning against the in things which are been going on in the way in the society. So here, Lord Lytton, so that to people should be in their hand, what was been brought up, Domestic Paper Control Act was been introduced to excise, to control, to take the control of whom, of the people. Okay. In the same way, Lord, okay, Lord Ripon, he brought up Ilbert Bill. He brought up which bill? Ilbert Bill. Lord Ripon, what he did, he introduced the Ilbert Bill. Okay. Now, to have purpose is what? Regarding the judicial system. Regarding the judicial system. Now, it was decided that the judicial system should be what? It should be made in a proper form. Okay. But the judicial system was only fixed for whom? For the Indians, for the Indians. The laws whichever are been brought by the British was not for the whom, for the British. It was for the whom, for the Indians. Okay, and further later period, many more we have seen, like in the form of doctrine of lapse. Okay, we have seen in the form of subsidiary alliance, right? We have seen in the form of we have in the form of war and negotiation. Okay, we have seen in the form of divide and rule policy in this form. Okay, doctrine of lapse, subsidiary alliance, war and negotiation policies, divide and rule policies, land tax systems, which we call it as a permanent settlement systems. In this form, many number of acts were being what they were being brought up. These acts totally hampered, which made our Indians to raise their voice against whom? Against the British. So in this junction, it was been most needable what it was to the Indians, that something should big it should happen, so that we can fight with whom? With the British. And all our leaders, they were waiting for it. In the year 1885, in the year 1885, a retired civil servant or British officer. Okay, British officer. He brought, he introduced an organization, right, called Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress. Okay, this Indian National Congress, which was been brought by a retired civil servant, a British officer in the year 1885 by Alan Octavian Hume. Alan Octavian Hume. He brought up that organization called as a Indian National Congress. Okay. This Indian National Congress played a major role in the independence struggle, as this Indian National Congress promoted towards the nationalistic ideas and the political system which is been presently existed, as the political system was totally creating a hurdle in the progress of the independence. because political system was totally under the hands of the whom? Under the hands of the British it was with it. Okay, keeping that in mind, now what it was been done, Indian National Congress, they tried to bring up the nationalistic ideas among the whom? Among the people, as it was been found by the Indian National Congress that the people who are united, the people who are united, the British, by using its cunning policy like divide and rule policy, cunning policy like divide and rule policy, they tried to make the division among the two peaceful people, Hindus and Muslims. And he was quite very successful also in that, right? Which again created a lot of damage in the way in the freedom struggle. Knowing by this, and this we all are seeing in the start of the which one? Start of the 19th century, the beginning of the 19th century, when Indian National Congress was fighting with a very too much of its effort, but due to the cunning policy of the British, once again there was a damage in the peace movement of the freedom struggle, or Indian freedom struggle, we can say. So, in the start of the 19th century, we see that the Indian National Congress, which was actively working, okay, this Indian National Congress further divided into three forms. Okay, why these three forms are been there? It's because of which one? Because of the ideology. Because of ideology, and the ideology made the birth of three different ideas, okay, which are the birth, which are from the Indian National Congress itself. Okay, now these are, who are those? Moderates. These are the moderates, these are the extremists, and third one was revolutionaries. Okay, three different part from the Indian National Congress. All three's ideology are different, but all three belongs to the which one? To the Indian National Congress, and all three of them having only in their mind freedom. Freedom they are having in their mind. Okay, so on the basis of this, they worked over. Let us jump into more and know how, being in the Indian National Congress, moderates role what it was, extremist role what it was, revolutionary role what it was, and how it affected, how it played a major role in the freedom struggle. We were not in the freedom struggle, we didn't play any major role, but yes, being tuned with this chapter, let us make ourselves, me and you, together to be the part of the freedom struggle, and let us understand how our freedom fighters played or sacrificed their life for the independence. So be tuned, let me come with the let us continue our topic with the moderates, extremist, revolutionary, or with the Indian National Congress in our next session.